Actually feel a little bit of a fraud in this audience because I know there's a ton of tech companies out there, having talked to a few of you in the break. So I'm going to try and do this in a variety of ways. So first of all, Joe, I work for an entrepreneur, a first-generation entrepreneur, where his name and brand is still on the box. So because Dane and I both work for him, I can completely affiliate with that ownership and desire and pride in the company that he's created, now 32 years old. I'm also going to reflect back on the first section. We talked about diversity and inclusion. In the company and the people I employ, we have a ton of millennials. We now have a ton of Gen Zs. I actually have a millennial child and a Gen Z child, and they're very different. And those children and those employees are your customers. So as I talk about this digital agenda, I want you to think about that. These are your customers of the future, and digital and growth are now the same word. I would hazard a guess you can't grow a business without technology today. So humour me a little bit. You should recognise these brands. Hopefully everyone recognises these monster global brands. I want you to think about what's common in those brands. They're all very different businesses and they serve very different goals, but fundamentally they're all software companies. They all create a very personal, tailored experience. And underneath the technology, and I promise I'm not going to talk about technology at all, but underneath those companies, they are loading software 10 times a day minimum, and in many cases 100 times a day, in an iterative loop where they serve an experience to you personally, and then they learn from that experience and they refresh the software and they make the experience iteratively better each time you use it, whatever you think about those brands. But that's why they're growing exponentially. Now I'm going to go laterally because you might go, well, those aren't my businesses. I'm not a software company. But I want to play you a short video in a classic. I think I've got an insurer in the room, in Inga. So I'm going to play you a short video. It's a hypothetical video about a hypothetical company, but just to show you what I mean about a digital customer experience.
No. It's just construction. That's all. No. I'm not driving.
Are you okay?
Yeah. You?
I'm good.
Oh no, not you. Listen, I'm gonna have to call my agent. I'm gonna get right back to you.
Mr. Burton, this is InsureCorp. We've received sensor data that indicates you were in an accident. Are you injured in any way?
I'm not injured, no.
Is anyone else injured?
I don't believe so.
Okay, where's my agent's number?
We have pinpointed your location, and we are showing your car is not drivable. So we are dispatching an Uber car to take you to your destination.
That would be great.
I'm pressing 1. English. E-N-G-L-I, English.
May we give your coordinates to our appraiser drone to perform the appraisal?
Absolutely.
We have received the photos, assessed the damage, authorized the repair, selected a qualified repair facility, and have dispatched a tow truck to take your vehicle to that facility.
Perfect.
Yes, hi, this is... Yes, I'll hold.
We have looked up the other vehicle's insurance, transmitted the appropriate data to create the claim, and filed the California SR1 accident report. Can you confirm the information is correct on your phone, then hit the accept button?
I'll check it right now. Okay, all done.
Thank you. Your Uber car is arriving now.
I see it coming.
Accident, not payment. Accident.
Your tow truck should be there now. Don't forget to leave your keys in the vehicle. Thank you for using InsureCorp, powered by Pivotal Labs.
Now, before I go on to the next slide, I just want you, there was a lot of laughter. And of course, it's a video to make you laugh, but it's to make you also think about the personal experience that technology can drive. And actually, there is nothing in that video that cannot be done today with the exception of the legalization of drones. That's the only thing in that video that cannot be delivered as an insurance experience today. So there's lots of laughter, but just think about the world and where we're going and the growth opportunity that technology brings all of your businesses. I'm going to quickly walk through lots of finance, retail, education, health, energy, transport, manufacturing, every industry. My company is working with everything from farming to banking to pharmaceuticals as we have I hit somebody's brand in the audience? Because these are digital software companies that are moving into all of the vertical markets. And so I come back to where I started, which was there is no growth agenda without technology and without a digital agenda. They are one and the same. It's a synonymous thing. Now, if you'll humour me, I'm going to talk to you just very briefly about what technologies and how Dell Technologies and Michael have reshaped our business to address this agenda, just so you know how we think about it. And then I'm going to give you some data points that will play into the growth labs that we're going to do. So we think about applications and software as the primary thinking in our company. It's great that we make lots of infrastructure, but fundamentally, the magic in technology is in software and in tailored software that create a tailored customer experience. And that's ultimately about data, and data in your businesses that you're collecting or around your businesses in order to improve that experience. Clearly, you have to have great infrastructure to run the software on. It has to be reliable, it has to be secure, but ultimately it is about the data and it is about the application. We clearly make end-user devices. That's part of the Dell Technologies family. And I would hazard a guess, having looked at diversity and inclusion this morning, if you think about that, anytime, anywhere, secure, reliable experience, that endpoint technology becomes really important. In fact, I'll tell you, I was with McLaren, who are a very good customer of ours, last night, and they were telling me how difficult it is to hire millennial and Gen Z engineers out in the green fields of Surrey because software engineers don't want to work in Surrey. They want to work in the inner city, in Shoreditch, in an exciting software engineering environment, and that anytime, anywhere, any place, reliable, secure endpoint becomes very critical for that generation. And then, of course, we want to wrap everything with security, and so our business is built around that. And just to walk through the brands so that you've got them, these are the brands of Dell Technologies. This is how the company hangs together, and that allows us to serve that software agenda, that infrastructure agenda, that end-user agenda, that security agenda, that buy it any way you want, design it, and serve your businesses. That's enough of a Dell pitch. Now let's come back to some of the data points for the growth labs. The world we're all working in is changing dramatically, and it's changing absolutely exponentially. You all know that. Here are some of the things going on in the world that you want to think about. First of all, there is more compute power every year than we've ever had. 5G networks are going to open up the opportunity of network bandwidth that we've never seen before. Artificial intelligence, and let me do that interface about what a machine does well versus what a person does well creates all kinds of opportunities for your businesses. There is going to be an amorphous mass, billions and billions of autonomous things in the world. They're already out there. These autonomous thinking, intelligent things that are producing data that you can harness for your business and for your customer experience. We have virtual reality and augmented virtual reality that creates all kinds of new opportunities. And from an entertainment point of view, we have what's going on in the virtual world for all of us who want a bit of downtime. Think about that evolution of IoT and how it impacts your business. Billions and billions of new endpoints. The incremental cost of putting intelligence into a thing, a product, a manufacturing line, a building, a vehicle, on an animal, you name it, that incremental cost is a microcosm. And yet the ability to harness what comes off that device, either directly by sending the data up into a big data center or a cloud, or harnessing it for real-time analysis so that you can take an immediate action to secure a building, to stop a manufacturing line, to stop a car, to pull a product that's perishable off the production line. Whether these things are talking to each other or talking to a human being, that IoT evolution is coming. You saw some of it on the visionary video. Data. More data was created last year than in the whole of mankind. And that's going to go exponentially faster. Just look at what's coming the year after next. We only analyze 1% of all that data today. But in that data are the insights that your businesses and your customers are giving you to improve your products and services. Let me play you another video about one company we're working with. They're actually, if anyone's going to Manufacturing World later on this week, they're actually there and speaking at Manufacturing World this week. But this is just a conceptual, again, idea of how you harness data to change and create a new business.
Who would have thought you could grow a plant in a warehouse instead of a field? Without sun, without soil. We're doing it, and we're not only doing it on an experimental level, we're doing it on a commercial level. Today we focus on leafy greens. We believe we could grow anything. Our vision is to build farms in cities all over the world to allow everyone to have access to fresh, great tasting, healthy food all year round. The fact that we could grow plants using 95% less water, 0 pesticides, as much as 390 times the productivity per square foot as a field farmer shows what technology can do. We're able to understand the plants better than anyone ever in the history of farming, and it's by the data. And this is why the relationship with Dell Technologies is so valuable. We are collecting all of these data points of what we're giving the plant. What spectrum of light, what nutrients, how do we improve quality, taste, texture? We're using data analytics and becoming better farmers. At the end of the day, it's about how do we deliver a better product to the customer.
This is AeroFarm's baby kale. This is going to be packed the flavor of kale. The watercress had those peppery notes. The bok choy is super juicy. This is what I love about AeroFarms, is that it's like technology that's allowing people to farm better and smarter, and it makes really delicious food.
The world needs a new paradigm of how we're going to feed this planet. AeroFarms is illustrative of what technology can do to provide more with less.
So again, you wouldn't think of farming as a natural market that would be driven by technology and innovation, but there's an example of a company that really may solve lots of problems that the world's planet is going to have. Now, you're all CEOs, and so the one side that I would encourage you to also think of, and I know there's a lot of cybersecurity firms in the audience as well, is as you design for digital and as you design for unique customer experiences using your customers' data, then the one thing you have to worry about is security. And I know that a lot of you will worry about security as you create a digital world. And that's why security is embedded in everything that we do as a company and should be embedded in everything you're doing. Now, GDPR starts to get to that from a European legislation point of view, but it's critical that everything we design is wrapped with security. And I'll give you, again, just a very well-publicized example here in the UK with the WannaCry ransomware attack. So that actually hit 150 countries. It cost the economy $4 billion. We saw it mostly publicized here in the press around the NHS, but I will tell you that there were companies that lost 20 million a day while there was downturn due to that cybercrime. So all I would encourage you to think about is technology is absolutely the innovation engine for growth. It's absolutely the way to create personal experiences for your customers. But as you do that, wrap it with security, because the brand damage of getting the security wrong is a massive impact. So I'm just going to summarize, and then we're going to go into the growth labs. But think about this. There is going to be more technology bandwidth in the world than you've ever seen in the next 5 years. That will drive exponential growth. There is data to be harnessed everywhere for your businesses, more data than you could ever look at. Pick it out, pull it out, write software to really use that data to create personal experiences for your customers, a differentiated experience for your customers. The opportunity is digital. The opportunity is now. And right at the start of the session, we talked about how do you feel about the economy at the moment? And I would say those people that embrace technology, embrace data, build great software, then this is a massively exciting time to be in industry. And hopefully we can discuss some of that on the tables going forward.